Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Nam mô Sa Nan Tho Sư Chế Đô Ye A La Hơ Đi San Miao San Pu Tô Xie. Nam mô Tát Đắc Tha Tô Ya Đa Ya A La Ha Đề Tam Miệu Tam Bồ Đà Toa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I am able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual principles. Wu shang sheng sheng wei miao fa bai qian万劫难遭遇，我今见闻得受持，愿解如来真实义。O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, sweet Master Qingliang, great Master Thichvinhhoausa, all good monks and nuns and all good knowing advisors, 阿弥陀佛。诸佛菩萨、精良大士、师父、上人、各位出家人、各位善知識，阿彌陀佛。chư Phật Bồ Tát, thưa Thanh Lương Đại sư, Thượng Tiên Khoa, quý thầy cô và quý vị thiện sư Thích Ca Di Đà Phật. Hello everyone, today is the 10th of December 2025. We're here at Wei Mountain to discuss the prologue to the Avatamsaka Sutra. Thank you for joining us. We are right now on slide 1246. This is an update for everyone who's not here in Southern California. They're making progress towards containing some of the fires, so it's great news. We have, yes, it's very nice. At least one of you gets excited. Two of you, okay. Very American. Asians, we are thus unmoving. and there are 10,000 structures who have been damaged or destroyed. So the bill is about insurance claim. I heard it's about $65 billion so far. Okay, and there's more. We're pretty sure. And of course, it's a lot of suffering. Our hearts goes out to those people. And the one thing the reason I brought it up is because I thought of the problem because it got pretty close to us, about an hour away, and that bothered me. What did I do? I asked myself immediately, what is it I did to be so close to danger? Okay, which is totally unforeseen. Dry seasons for the last 3 years, we didn't pay attention because we heard that the reservoirs were filling up to 98% in the state of California. So we didn't realize the last 2 or 3 years there's very little rain. So that's why it's very dry, the vegetation. And then the Santa Ana, for some reason, picked up very, very heavy. And that's why this fire. And so I thought about it, and one of the things I came to see a few things, but one of the things I want to share with you is the generosity of the people in this country and many people in the world. People immediately call for help for these displaced and victims of the fire, and they have incredible responses. Okay, it's so remarkable. Okay, you guys are so compassionate, and thank you all for that. And also, I then further thought. I said, the war in the Gaza Strip in Palestine, there also have a lot of buildings destroyed and people displaced. But the difference that the aid could barely get to them, to the victims. So it shows two things. People here have a lot of blessings. That's why the help is right there, upon demand, on demand. And number two is they themselves, the victims, are also very compassionate, very decent people, after all. And that's how they're able to benefit from the compassion and kindness of total strangers. Okay? Keep it in mind, because you never know what could happen to any of us. And what we did in the past matters. How we behave right now matters. Okay? Avoid the destruction, avoid helping the destructions. That's all I'm going to say tonight. Any questions and comments? And I'm just curious. I don't know you're curious at all. Oh. This tonight here is the beginning of the weekend, so we start lecturing on sutras. How much of myself do you think I use for regular chanting instructions, you think? Never crossed your mind? Never wondered? How much do I need to use to explain the chant instructional talks? And the next one, how much do I use the sutras? If you're not curious, I'm gonna, let's drop it. Okay, let's move on. 1246. I'm not going to promote myself. I'm just toying with you. Yes, 5. Yeah. How much?
네, 안녕하세요. 저는 한국에서 온 이승윤이라고 합니다. 제가 휴가차 일주일 동안 미국에서 머물렀는데 머물면서 목숨 걸고 수행하는 스님들과 도반들을 보면서 깊은 감명을 받았습니다.
Hello, I'm Seung-yoon Lee from Korea. I spent 1 week in USA.
1 week already? So fast? Wow.
So I'm very impressed with Snim and then co-cultivators who practice very vigorously.
네, 저는
More
3일
than
동안
Korea? We are more vigorous than K people?
네, 여기 계신 한국 스님들이 열심히 하는 것 같습니다.
He says Sanguk Sunim is the most vigorous.
The Korean Snim practice vigorously, he said.
More than in K-land? We're curious. I'm sorry, we Americans are very curious. They're very curious, but they don't ask you. Yeah, let's gossip a little.
네, 한국에서도 열심히 하셨는데 여기서 한 달 가까이 단식하시는 모습은 제가 처음 봤습니다.
In Korea, people practice vigorously, but I never seen a person who fasts for a month.
Okay, true. Okay, very good. Continue with your message.
저는 3일 동안 단식을 했는데 절에 맛있는 음식들이 너무 많고 너무 잘 챙겨주셔서 단식하기 전보다 몸무게가 더 늘어난 것 같습니다.
I fasted for 3 days, but there are so much delicious food, so I gained weight more than before fasting.
그래서 법장사, 금림사, 위산사의 승가 제가자분들께 감사 인사드립니다.
So I'd like to thank you to everyone in DTT, GF, and then WMD.
네, 저 질문이 3개가 있는데요. 먼저 첫 번째로 제가자가 깨달을 수 있는 확률과 출가자가 깨달을 수 있는 확률이 얼마나 큰 차이가 있는지 궁금합니다.
I have 3 questions. The first question, what's the difference difference of probability of for lay people to get enlightened, and then for left-home people get enlightened.
Okay. Second question. Let me think about it.
네, 두 번째는 자 이번에 결과부자 수행을 하면서 한 번은 제 그 호흡을 이제 바라보는 느낌이 흘러가는 강물을 이제 바라보는 느낌이랑 비슷하다는 그런 느낌을 받았습니다. 그래서 그 예전에는 느껴보지 못한 거여서 저 스스로는 발전되었다고 생각하는데 이게 진전이 있는 것인지가 궁금합니다.
I practice I sit in full lotus practice, and then I saw my breath, and it's like I see the river flowing. I never felt like this, so I'm wondering whether I made a progress.
Number three.
세
Let me think
번째는
about it.
그 집에서 할 때보다 그 여기서 할 때 결과부자의 통증이 더 심했는데 이외에 혹시 결과부자가 힘들 때 제가 이제 다른 걸 할 수 있는 다른 방법이 있을지 지침을 좀 받고 싶습니다.
I felt more pain when I sit in full lotus in here, so I want to know is there any other way? Is there anything I can do when I sit in full lotus?
Okay, I answer in the reverse order. Anything you can do when you sit in full lotus? Yes, there is. One word. What is it? Maybe two. Huh? Anyone?
Endure.
Endure. How about two? Endure more. Is it clear? Don't complain, When you meditate, don't complain that why I have more pain here at Wei Mountain Temple than at DTT, and then in K-Land and so forth. That's what he means. The answer is God works in mysterious ways, where we Americans like to think, okay? God has his own plans, so we don't have to worry about it, okay? Just endure more, that's all, okay? In fact, in general, it has been happening more frequently than not, is that for quite a few of you, you experience more, you struggle more when you show up at Wei Mountain Temple. And we chuckled, and the abbot and myself chuckled and said, oh yeah, of course. So that's the answer we came up with, and do more. Okay? Until you can overcome it. That's nothing. Okay? The pain there is nothing at all. That's part of your training to make you tougher and to build your samadhi. All right. Second question. The breath is like a river. Okay? That's a good state. It's called a state. When your mind perceives things, it's anything that your mind perceives is a state. It perceives nothing. What is that? It's a state. Anything. I just told you. Okay? So it's a good state. Okay? Let me ask you back. Do you feel any different? You've been here 7 days already. Do you feel any different?
조금 더 평화로워진 것 같습니다.
I feel more peaceful.
Then your samadhi level increased. Bottom line is that when your samadhi level increases, some of you cry more. don't forget. They don't ever give up. This is why I call them stupid. Now you know. I warned you already. And so it's a good thing. Okay, when it's something that 95% of the time cannot be faked. When you get up there, maybe they come and bother you a little bit, but usually the safest measure of your progress is that, do you feel more peaceful? You feel more blissful? Doesn't matter what you do. You could be fasting, you could be doing ceremonies, you could be reciting mantras, you could be requesting a dharma, walking back and forth like that. Could be bringing water, okay? All of a sudden you feel more peaceful, okay? And that's the leap. All right, if you feel more peaceful, which usually is the case when people take the time, somehow it seems to be happening more frequently, more and more frequently than before. Especially people will come such a long way to come here, and they almost all experience more peace and more bliss. Of course, you always find people who are here for the wrong reasons. Maybe they're just curious and want to take a look, and we're for real or not, especially you. Because they see me on the screen already, on the videos, but they're curious about you. They say, are you for real? I keep on talking about you, how superior you are, how special you are. And I mean it. Really. You and your suffering, and you and your struggles. That's what makes you special. You struggle, and yet you keep fighting and fighting and fighting. You know, when you struggle and you don't give up, you keep fighting, you know what it does? It makes your body healthier. Yes, we can help you just like that, but we don't, because we prefer that you suffer. I mean, I prefer you suffer. Okay? Because you get a lot more out of it than if I were to help you. That's what I discovered over the years. All right? And so, and ultimately, it shows up as you feel more energized. Yeah? After you have a leap, you will notice that you have a burst of energy. Yes or no? Yeah, that's a sign right there. As if you don't need to sleep as much. Huh? You don't need to eat as much. Okay? Food doesn't taste as good as before. Okay? Except after when you fast, the food tastes so much better. Okay? But you would, it's so ridiculous to some people. Some people say after the fast, they love the congee water only. There's no flavor whatsoever. It's, oh, this makes me so happy. Anyway, see, those are the signs that you're healthier mentally and physically. You may not be able to detect it mentally, but you are. Okay. That's number 2. Number 1, what is the likelihood of a lay person becoming enlightened and left home people becoming enlightened? Of course, there's a difference. The Buddha, his great wisdom, his infinite wisdom, he says, I'm here to help all of you become enlightened, to help all of you reduce your suffering, to help all of you experience more bliss. I want all of you to get more what you want. It's always our spirit. And so he looked at us and said, well, some of you are lay people, you have commitments to your family and to your communities, whatever, to your profession, and therefore you should honor those commitments. Okay, that's part of the major reason why you're here. And some others don't have such responsibilities, and these people can be put in a special program called Sangha, where it's a lot more intensive, lots more intensive than lay people. And so that's what he created, this Sangha. And he's the first one to create a democratic, not Republican, democratic, because we have some Vietnamese Republicans here visiting us. We want you to know, here is a democratic country. Go forth, where I also belong, is Republican. Okay, I'm two-faced. Let's face it. Okay, and so he's created the first democratic Sangha religious system, where when we need to make big decisions, it's a Sangha that gets together and decides. Okay, and so when people do that, that's even when Master Shinwa was alive, he stepped back. Sometimes he would let people get together and decide and run how to run the organization. Okay, he didn't really train them how to run it properly, but it's because that's the spirit of the Sangha. The Sangha is democratic. We take votes. When the Sangha gets together to resolve an issue, to address an issue, it's democratic. Okay? Even when I'm there participating, I also respect the majority of the opinion. And unless the majority is confused, because they do get confused, okay? Because the opposition is stronger than they are, then I will voice my opinion and say, you should reconsider, because it's not a good thing to do. Occasionally I would do that. But other than that, I let my sanghas learn to deal with each other and only correct them when necessary. Okay? And so this is to tell you that it's two different worlds. The Sangha world is a separate world. It's kind of unique for the sole purpose of becoming enlightened. And the lay people world is your world, where you have commitments, therefore you cannot devote 100% of your time to cultivation, to open your wisdom. And therefore, both sides, we don't discriminate, by the way. We don't care. I don't care. I can't care less. Give you an example. Okay, in Master Shinwa Sangha and assembly, right now, some lay people are higher level samadhis than the monks and nuns. I know those lay people. I know those monks and those nuns. Okay, so that tells you that in our Weiyang lineage, we don't discriminate at all. Doesn't matter who you are. If you are willing to cultivate, you have a chance to cultivate, whatever you are able to do, we teach and help you more and more and more. We don't care. Okay? We treat everyone equally. The difference is in environment, difference in the time you put into it. The Sanghans is 100% of the time. Okay? You lay people, you may get to come to the temple on the weekend, maybe stay here over the weekend, or stay here for 1 or 2 days, or stay here and come for the lecture, come for the ceremony, whatever that the time you can spare. And so there's a huge difference in the time of the practice. And it takes work, it takes hard work. Okay? And so therefore, and again, because we practice the Sutton Dharma, meaning that it doesn't matter who you are, when the time comes, you'll be given the instructions. So maybe you're low here, and someone is much higher than you. But if at the time comes, you can leap over this person. That's all it takes, that fast. So you never know. So for me, I don't discriminate between lay people and left-form people. I look at each one of you and I said, okay, you're not ready yet for me to tell you what to do. Okay? Yeah, I watch over you. That's my responsibility. Each and every one of you. I take a look and say, no, not ready yet. No, phony. No, scammer. No, lazy. Yeah, my kind of girl. Okay? So that's what we do. That's why it's slightly faster, because I'm more proactive than Master Shenhua. Master Shenhua lets it happen. That's why it took me 11 years to begin to understand. He lets you figure it out. So the harder it takes you, the more you understand. But on the other hand, it takes a lot longer. Okay? So probability of the enlightenment, everyone and anyone has a chance. It could happen any time. Okay? And of course, because of the time involved, the work that's put in, the efforts that's put in, left-form people tend to have a better chance than lay people. Let me change it for you. Let me correct it for you. At low-level enlightenments, really not much difference. Because of our system. Our system is really American, not Asian, not Chinese, not Vietnam, not whatever. Believe me, one day you understand. I promise you. Maybe not this lifetime. But we're very, very unique in the way we train people. And I would say we're more pure Wei Yang than the other side. They're Chinese Wei Yang. We are more American Wei Yang than Chinese Wei Yang. Because my style of training is different from Master Shenhua's. Meaning that one thing is obvious that comes out is that I do more certain teaching than he does. Because he's not as proactive as I am. I watch you. Okay? I watch you constantly. He may not show. Okay, at lunch, I watch how much you eat. If you're wondering what I do at lunch, I watch you. Ooh, big bowl. I'm kidding, of course. I kid a lot. You see, but so that's why you never know when I'm going to tell you something. Okay. And so at low levels, it's really not much difference. Okay? But high levels, lay people are unlikely to get it. Because high level requires a longer sustained work. This is why you being trained in a Chanchi looks casual right now, but you're being trained to increase the length of your concentration more and more and more, and not get distracted. And you need that to get to high levels. Okay, dokie? So low level is not a whole lot of difference, maybe 30% difference. 30%, 40% faster. But high level, for example, in a Pure Land Dharma, I will not teach lay people. That gem there, if I teach lay people, some of you like Bodhidharma teaching the Shaolin Kung Fu. Some of you left Shaolin people and they started competing with the monks. And actually, some of the lay people are better than the Shaolin monks. And it's not going to happen under me. Okay? Because we need monks and nuns to be Dharma heirs. Lay people are not Dharma heirs. Okay? Yes. 7.
Thank you, Master. There are some questions here. Diego Alfonso asks, he says, Amitabha Master, how much do you put into the Chan lectures and how much do you put into the Sutra lectures?
Oh, I forgot already.
I didn't forget either, but he said it, so.
Okay, what's the next question?
And the next question is from Daniel 7. Amitabha Master, are all the people we meet in our life a result of our karmic affinities with them? Thank you.
Yes. Usually we get together here because, especially the ones who are able to cultivate here in this community, you have tremendous blessings, and it's not the first time. We're very selective, let me tell you. Okay, some of you may come late, but doesn't mean that you have not cultivated for a long time at all. The conditions ripen, that's why you're here. But just as I said, I was the last one, maybe next to the last one that Master Hsuan accepted. Certainly the last novice. And there was another one that became, I believe, fully ordained now, right after me. He's a professor. Okay? And so he's now translating Hinayana texts. Not a bad thing to do. But you shouldn't do translation until you have wisdom, not just because you understand the language or have studied the Dharma for a long time. It's scholarly. Translation is prajna power. It's no excuse. We can accept your translation temporarily, like in Espanol and so forth, okay? But eventually, okay, our standards are very, very high, okay? You need to have more and more prajna, wisdom, to do a better job translating. Because if you do a great job translating, like they do here in English, it's a darn good job, A job, okay? Not AAA, but A. I feel that you need to be clear about where we are, where we're going, in my mind, okay? And so, is that it? No more? Okay. Okay, for Chan talks, instructional talks, I think I use about 75-80%. Okay, of what I have. So after that, I can go and work out a little bit. Okay, I'm not totally exhausted yet. Lectures, I require around 90%. This one is a hard one. Some of the the Avatamsaka Sutra is very, very hard. And luckily for us, Master Hsuan has great explanations in Chinese. And they did a good job. His disciple did a great job translating. So 90% accurate, okay? It's a 10% because it's below. They don't understand the Dharma, that's all. But so it's about 90% in general, okay? I rarely use 100%. So I haven't had a reason to use 100% yet. What's in it for me? Hey, I do this for free and you want everything? Forget it. Okay, any other questions? See, we gossip a lot, you notice. Yes, 9.
Master, you said that lay people don't have too much of a disadvantage in lower levels. Is 4G still lower level? Do we still have a chance to kind of...
Low levels, I would say about to 4 or 5G, then you really don't have much difference, 30-40% difference. But higher than that, it's more delicate, it's more difficult because we have to catch you at the right time. I have to catch you at the right time. It looks like I'm doing nothing, but I watch you and then I come and hit you and punch you in the nose and break your nose or something like that, and you become enlightened or something like that. Okay, so it means more work for me. I have to watch you more frequently. But when at your levels, I look and say, okay, next year. That's good enough. Something like that. Okay, so it's frequency. How often I need to see you because the certain teaching has to happen at the right time. It has at that moment only. If I miss that, I have to wait for the next opportunity. And because sometimes I teach you, but you don't realize, you say, I thought you think I was joking. I wasn't. I really want to hurt you. Sometimes. Okay. You know, like Linji, great Master Linji, after Linji Chan school. He helped a lot of people by beating them up, by kicking them, by punching them, by yelling at them. At one time, there's this kid here, a disciple of his, and this is told the story that my Vietnamese master told me, because he knew I like to cultivate. So he says, Linji, the founder of our lineage, Vietnam people, they all are Linji. Okay. And Rinzai in Japan, and I don't know, Linji also in Korea as well. And so Linji is the major remaining school until Master Hsuan came along and resurrected all 5 schools and recognized Master Hsuan as a Weiyang. Okay, so Weiyang was dormant because the students were not good enough. So they folded under Linji. But when the time comes, they come out. We pull them out. Okay? And so this guy here, disciple of Master Linji, and he allowed him to be his attendant. And so he watched how so Master Linji got a chance to observe this kid, okay, this monk, who, after observing Master Linji, and started imitating him. Because Master Linji, when people come and ask me about cultivation, Master Linji say, Master, how should I recite mantras? Master Linji would say, and the visitor would look at it and say, and that's it. Next person, Master, Master, how should I recite the Buddha's name? Okay? And then, never mind. This is an American joke. Okay, so the kid, that monk, the young monk, started imitating Master Linji. So when people came and asked him, "So, Venerable, how should I do chant?" He would say, "Okay." So right there, and so one day Master Linji waited for him. Okay, and someone came and asked him, sent one of his disciples come to ask him, "Venerable, how do I recite the 42 hands and eyes?" Of course, they don't have 42 hands and eyes. Only we have. Linji don't have it. So the guy very proudly said, and Master Linji grabbed the index finger and used his precept knives, which is back then. Back then, monks and nuns have a precept knife. They would rather kill themselves than breaking precepts. This is very Chinese and Korean. Koreans are taught like that too. You take a precept knife and cut his index finger. Okay? And the guy, and he passed out. Of course, monks are weak. And then they rush him to the hospital, emergency room, EMS. Okay, they call the 911, so forth. They rush him to the hospital, and they patch him up. Okay, and he came back and continued to be attendant. Okay, yeah, and then one day after he's healed, okay, yeah. A few months later, 6 months later, he's healed. Someone came to him and asked him, "Virtuous one, how do I meditate?" And he says, he forgot that he lost his index finger. Actually, it's the other finger, but I can't use the other finger. It's too American. And the other guy, "Oh, yeah." And he said, "Oh, thank you so much, Venerable. Oh, I understand. I know how to cultivate now." Okay? And this guy, his first time it ever happened to him, he said, and he looked at his hand, realized he lost his finger, and he became enlightened too. That's Master Linji's wisdom. He helped two people become enlightened at the same time. And you know what it means? Let me ask the man. The girl said, "What do you think? What does the story mean?" You hear a lot of these stories in the Buddhist scriptures, these anecdotes. There's plenty of stories like this. Okay? So what does it mean? Usually, it means they certify to 4th stage Arhat, 4A. Because they understand emptiness. There's no finger here. When he pulled out his finger and they realized, "Oh my God, it's really empty." That's what my instruction is, empty. That's why the other guy became enlightened. Empty yourself, You hear all sorts of variation of this same principle. Yeah? Yes, DTT.
Hello, Master. There's a question on Chinese YouTube.
Okay.
Robin's Nest asks,
So
Amitofo.
Robin's Nest is Chinese? It's amazing. We learn more and more about you. You know, we piece things together. Yeah, okay.
Robin's Nest said, 阿弥陀佛，师父，我有2个问题想请教。在先前的讲座中，确认了佛教天界的天人都只在临终前才开始灵修。我不明为什么是这样。他们出于恐惧而短暂的修行有什么用呢？我的第2个问题是关于身处佛教天界时的佛法教法。众菩萨们如弥勒菩萨，在感官愉悦恒常的干扰下，如何人能教法呢？谢谢。
You
Should I
see,
translate?
okay, yeah, translate. You see, I just noticed something. When I go to DTT, the new novice in the back would shake and bake like crazy. Okay? When I'm not there, she's so relaxed. Now it's beginning to shake again. When I was there, she's so violent. And you know, when I started cultivating, people were frightened of it. I started teaching, people started doing something. What are you doing? You crazy or something? Anyway, it's the crazy seeds in all of you. Just kidding. It's not crazy. It's a very, very good thing. And one day, I did that too, by the way. It's not a whole lot you're doing that I haven't done yet. Put it that way. For years, I was shaking like crazy. Could you imagine? I would go lie down. I can't do it anymore. I would sit here in full lotus. I would bend back, you know, almost touching the floor and shake and not touch the floor at all. And good thing that no one saw me. I survived that. Now I look at you and say, oh, that's nothing. Or Xintung XT, Venerable XT. You know, she's some tough woman, let me tell you. I have tremendous respect for this woman. She shakes, she's the most violent one I saw shaking, okay? To the point where I had to put her behind the parlor there and put some fences around her because I could not let other people see her go crazy like that. Okay, that's too much. Okay, but this woman is tough, man. She would sit at Lu Mountain Temple next to, we have 2 big bronze statues of Earthstar Bodhisattva one side and Medicine Master Buddha on one side. And we used to enclose her up, okay, behind these partitions so that you cannot see her go crazy, okay? Because she goes crazy all day. And she would do funny thing, and then she would move closer and closer to the statue, and she would hit her head against the statue and say, see, I'm harder than you. I have so much respect for that. I'm fearless, but I'm not that crazy. That deserves my respect. Yes, Francis, it's a sister, by the way.
So there's a period of time that she have to hit her head, like the middle of her forehead.
Yeah.
So she took a stone. He said, "You want to hit the head? Here the stone." So she hit her head with the stone.
And actually, she like had a cut, right? Yeah, because it's a bronze statue, dudes. You had like bing like that. You know, a gash or something. We never send her immersion serum. Unlike Lin Chi, we don't care. You die, huh? Bleed to death. I don't care. I'm busy meditating, man. Hey, Daniel, can you take it? Huh? Carrasco. Huh? We Buddhists are tough, man. Okay, did we answer the question? Yes, go ahead, translation. Sorry, we got sidetracked. I have a lecture to get to, okay, folks?
Master, the question is Namo Amitofo, Master. I have two questions I want to ask. In the previous lectures, you confirmed that the heavenly beings only start to cultivate when they are about to die. I don't know why this is the case. Are they doing a brief moment of cultivation out of fear? What is the use of that?
Why do you cultivate? Ask her, why do you cultivate yourself?
Okay.
Why do you cultivate?
Okay.
Okay, second question. Let her
Second
give her time
question.
to answer that.
Second question is for the heavenly beings, when the bodhisattvas, like Maitreya Bodhisattva, how does he teach the heavenly beings? Because the heavenly beings is constantly under the interruption of their sensual pleasures. So how does Maitreya Bodhisattva able to teach the Buddha Dharma to heavenly beings?
The inner courtyard, the inner court of Maitreya, that Dushita heaven has two courts, inner court and outer court. Inner court is, outer court is where the regular heavenly beings live. They don't get to see Maitreya. Only the people who are in the inner court get to see Maitreya Bodhisattva. And you don't get to, ordinary heavenly beings don't get to see Maitreya Bodhisattvas at all. Only the one who have kung fu and who have conditions will be able to allow in. Okay, so Maitreya Bodhisattva is not teaching heavenly beings the outer courts at all. All right, and while waiting for her to give an immediate answer, we could go into the lecture if you're interested. I know you'd rather gossip, but I started. I should have not started with 80 and 90%. Okay, the text here says that when competing with one another, there is attachment on the part of each to one's own rights and wrongs. Okay, so when you go into contention, when you argue, it's because you are attached to right and wrong. Okay, if you weren't attached to right and wrong, you would not be, would not indulge in fighting or argument at all. Okay? But with penetration, there's no debating between adversaries. Actually, is how they chose to translate it. But actually, it means here, in Chinese, when there is competition, you attach to right and wrong. It's very, very direct. Okay? The Buddha Dharma, especially the teachings here of the great sages, are very, very direct. They don't beat around the bush at all. And this is how you can tell that Master Jing Liang is such a high level. Okay, the Chinese is beautiful. He says, you don't grasp at right or wrong. Okay, I mean, when you fight, when you argue, when you compete, there is attachment to right and wrong. It's not just your own, but both sides. You attach to your being right and the other person being wrong, and vice versa. Okay, so that's what it's about. Attachment. There's no attachment when there is competition. There's contention. There's attachment to right and wrong. It's so accurate. Agree or disagree? It's so beautiful. This is why we fight constantly. We fight constantly because the bottom line is that we are attached to right and wrong. Okay? All the wars are justified by right and wrong. Agreed? Huh? It's a nasty thing. Okay. And 打无为正. After you penetrate, when there is penetration, meaning after you penetrate through the fog, okay, through the confusion, that's 打. 打 is you go straight through, okay, and you reach light, okay. That's the assumption behind 打. 打 is that there's an effort here where you need to break through. You have to go through something. 打 is to break through stones, confusion, fog, all those things, okay, obstructions, and you reach your goal. And the goal there, okay, when you reach your goal, a body, okay, then no 无为正. There is no more way, is no more conflict, if you will. Okay? You're at peace and harmony with everyone if you have wisdom. It's because you don't have wisdom, that's why you keep on having contention and fighting. Okay? And so I remember on Schindler's List, you've seen that movie, anyone? You don't watch movies either. My God. How did you like the small clip that we did for you last night? Tell me. You hate it, right? I know Jesse loved it. Huh? You didn't like it either. Why do I bother? You know how much work I have to ask my people to prepare for that, for all of you?
You mean, Master, you chose that for us?
Yeah, I shared.
Okay, well then I loved it.
You thought it's like XX? XX would never do anything like that. She's pure. She doesn't listen to music.
Okay.
Anyway, where are we again? Yes, 7.
I have an answer here, a response from Robin's Nest.
Yes.
She's speaking in English here.
No, okay.
Okay. Amitabha Master, if I had to give any one reason for why I cultivate, it admittedly is because I believe if I liberate myself first, I will sooner be able to liberate others. I believe we should put our own metaphorical oxygen mask on first before we can help other sentient beings.
Okay.
And also, thank you for clarifying about the Tushita inner court.
Yeah. Okay. You're welcome. Okay. There are 2 reasons why you people cultivate. Number 1 is they have an ideal, like this lady here talked about. She says, Eureka, I found my purpose in life, which is wonderful. Okay? This is one of the most lofty purposes that you can have, is to reach Bodhi so that you can really help others. Okay? That's reason number 1. Reason number 2 is that you suffering. That's when you said, how do I make this stop? And because you see you're suffering and you wanted to do something about it, that's when the Buddha and the Bodhisattvas can find an opportune time to come and teach you. But if you're happy, okay, and have 11 children, and and have money, and have fame, and have a lot of fans, you don't need to cultivate. That's why those people don't cultivate. Successful people don't cultivate because they don't see the need. So the second group of people are the people who have a need to cultivate because they're suffering, because they're sick, because they whatever. Okay, and when they cultivate, they find relief. Okay, it's a struggle, but they after the struggle, they feel better. That's the secret of the second group. If they were only willing to follow instructions and endure the difficulties, that's when good things happen to them. Wonderful things happen to them. And this is why we are limited in being able to help you in that sense. We can tell you what to do. We're going to explain to you what to do. Okay? But you must decide to do it yourself. And therefore, even though the Buddha comes around and teaches you, and they do that a lot, by the way, you would be surprised. Buddhists and Bodhisattvas come and help us out constantly, a lot more often than you realize. Okay? And it's because we don't have the blessings. That's why even though they try to explain to us, try to tell us, we don't listen. We don't listen. We ignore them. We object to them. We don't believe them. That's lack of blessings. And unless you have the blessings, it's not a whole lot that you can do or that can be done by either side. All right? Any other questions? Okay. With penetration, there is no conflict, okay? And there's no fighting. No way is you go against someone's wishes, okay? And worse yet, you fight. You impose your will on others. And folks, if I may, I'm teaching you the Kung Fu, I'm teaching you all the tantras here because I hope you won't fight. That's rule number one. If you fight, okay, it will get in the way of your cultivation. And if you give up fighting, you get stronger and stronger. But when you start imposing your will, and the Chinese people, they don't point this out to their students. Okay, that's why when you start fighting, okay, that's when you stop making progress and you create offenses, and quite often you regress. That's why I'm reminding you, the first rule we teach you is no fighting, no harming. What's implied in fighting is that to prove you're right and to punish someone for being wrong. But sometimes you people don't understand the subtlety. That's why sometimes we have to explain to you, no fighting, no harming. All right? Chinese too subtle. All right. And yes, 6.
Mr. Four Masters, regarding what you just said about no fightings and go against other people's wills, my question is, how do we know that can we stop ourselves unknowingly harming others? I would give example for basically in the family. sometimes the adult or the elders, like my mom or my aunt or my
Oh, yeah.
would want me to do something that would make make them happy.
Yeah.
But like I often sometimes ignore that or I don't do it because
But you a man. They're women. What do they know?
yes, and then I would give example. For example, like right now, my family in the situation that when they do gathering is not really a happy state. So I'm often avoiding that. But when I avoid that, we make them. I'm guessing we will make them not totally happy with me.
You think your family is unique?
Yeah.
No.
No. So
It's worse in my family. Every time we have an excuse to get together, like at Christmas or Lunar New Year, we get together. We each bring a knife. And we don't stop fighting until someone bleeds or loses an ear or something, an eye or something. And then we say, okay, that's enough today. I love you. I see you next time. We're extreme. You ain't seen nothing yet. So go and join the fight. You haven't seen my times in Vietnam where we have a war. That's how we fight, with knives.
yeah. So finish my question. I want to ask like how do we stop that, or how we not just endure it in the means of just to get it over with?
You have to ask these women, the Vietnam women here, especially the older ones. They're experts at this. They survived many generations of such thing, yeah? yeah? They are the master mistresses at navigating this. Okay? They're so much better than men in the big families because they're the one who pull all the strings and they emerge victorious. After the husband dies, the mother becomes a matriarch and rules with an iron fist. Everyone is terrified. Okay? It's part of the culture. It's part of bonding. The Vietnam people like you bond by fighting each other. And you proved your love by saying, yes, we fought to the death, but I still love you. That's why I fight you to the death. So what are you supposed to do? If I were you, okay, you suck it up and you go to these things, and you know what? I'm going to give you a tip, okay? You go enough of these fights, those cat fights. Usually it's the same people. Usually there's one consistent winner. Agree? Huh? Old woman? Huh? There's always a guy who consistently wins. Yeah? Usually it's the oldest son of the family or the most evil sister in the family. They always win. Okay? And so what you do? Okay? I was stupid. I never learned that. I kept on fighting every time I fought and got bloody nose and, losing ear and so forth. This ear is fake, by the way. And after that, after I cultivated, I realized, oh, shucks, I was so stupid. Some of them, especially the women, they sided with the winner every single time. And they gang up on us losers. So that's what you do. You go and you line up behind the consistent winner and you learn. And you hide behind them because those are really egocentric. They fight to make a point, to prove they're right and the opponents are wrong. That's all they care about, whatever it takes. my family, we fight, we bleed to death. Some of us, okay? And we do call emergency services. and because of a family of demons, my siblings are all demons. They follow my mother here because they're her bodyguards. So anyway, and so what you do, you always join the winner, and then you hide behind that person. You don't take the limelight. You don't take credit. You just sit there and observe how nasty they really are. And that's how you get better professionally. Daniel, you don't have this kind of training in your culture. For the Asians, this is how we get so vicious. Family training. Okay? So don't be a chicken. Join them and don't fight. Just line up behind the winner. That's all. And you learn. Huh? And you learn from the elders. Okay, anyone else? My God, we gossip so much. Okay, okay, let me finish this at least. Oh, God, I feel ashamed of myself. I'm supposed to teach you profound principles tonight, but all we do is gossip. Okay, so the Great Collection Sutras, this is one of the Mahayana sutras. They have the 5 categories. They list 5 categories, whatever. Don't worry about it. This is not important. Maybe different, but none of them is apart from a Dharma realm or Nirvana. You see, the point I want you to take here is whatever is different, whatever is contention, whatever these great teachings are, ultimately is not apart from the Dharma realm or Nirvana, meaning what? You can embrace them. That's why don't, look at him, he's going again. Don't avoid them. You embrace them. That's Mahayana. Okay? But don't be stupid. Don't stick your neck out when you embrace them. Let the winner do everything, and you just tag along and like a new here, and that's what you do. All right. Agreed? Okay. We'll never make it to the next slide. Yes, go Forrest.
Master, does the same concept apply for disciplining children or being strict with them when they do something dangerous?
No. Well, the exception is whenever there is safety issues, you have to make immediate actions. You have to take immediate actions. You can't wait because those are time sensitive. You cannot take a chance. And if for example, your dad is doting on your son, okay? And grandpa do that. Grandpas, they always dote on their grandsons, okay, and ignore the granddaughters. At least in Asian families. And when he's doting on that, then you patiently wait, okay? And you say, Dad, this is, he could hurt himself. Let's make sure it doesn't happen, that's all, okay? And you bring out to his attention there's a danger there, okay? And then, but you don't contradict your dad, okay? Because it's a bad example for your son. And then after, that's when you let him have it. You said, listen, okay, here that you and I are together, I need to tell you this is this very important thing. If you do it again, I will break your nose. something like that. Make sure he gets the message. Okay. Does it help? You too, don't yell, just punch him. Because kids are resilient. If you do, you lose your temper only, they can adapt to the temper. But if you hit them with different spots in the body, they're not prepared for it. My dad used to hit me on the buttocks, and so I got used to it, and then I became fearless. I wasn't afraid of him anymore. And then he started hitting me everywhere else, back, and and then I became scared again. It's nothing like pain to wake you up. Oh God, I'm teaching violence, am I? I'm not in a good mood tonight, let me tell you. Yes, sir, in the back.
Hello, Master. I used to wear a lot of pants, and I used to pretend to cry. It hurts so that he won't. He just keep hitting me, but I don't feel anything at all.
Yeah, it's known. Kids are known to do that. That's why I hit different spots. When I hit my nuns, it's usually da 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 da. They can't expect where they're going to be hit. Yeah. And boys as well. See, Daniel is shocked. Yeah. Yeah, the Sangha, we have our own ways of training, man. Okay, anyone else? Okay. In the Nirvana, each speaks of personal causes, but the Buddha allows it as not improperly spoken. The remaining doctrine will be combined later on. Oh, thank God.
涅槃各说声音，佛许无非，正说于义，次下当会，古今为圣境。
Okay. I think that's the next section. Okay, then we go into the gossip, Master Shenhua. Okay, and so it doesn't matter here. Again, Master Ching Yang, he said, he quoted this, he cross-references, he quoted this, Nirvana speaks of personal causes. Each one has their own way of doing things, their history, and the Buddha allows it as Buddha okays it. Okay, but it doesn't matter. Don't worry. Don't worry. Even in the Buddhist teachings, sometimes Buddhas sees discrepancies, but he allows it because at times he says, it's okay, it's not time to correct them yet. Okay, so yes, there will be confusion in the Buddhist teachings, but that's normal. That's part of your training, okay? Because you need to be able to function in clarity and also cultivate in confusion and not give up. If everything is like the way you expect, the way you want, it's not cultivation. Okay? You don't expect to find perfect and perfection after the people are enlightened. Some are pretty nasty. They need to work it out, hopefully. Okay? If they don't, tough luck. Okay? And that's cultivation. Excuse me. All right? And then we go into the next section. It's too long. It's not gonna, it will take more than 4 minutes. So time is up practically. Anyone has any questions, comments? So, excuse me, tonight's lesson I want to teach you. Last night is after the lecture, that's when I send you the message. You didn't get it. Oh my God. What was the message? Yes, 9. Go ahead. It's heart of gold. Heart of gold. That's right. Okay? We're looking for hearts of gold. We mine hearts of gold. That's why we're doing this. Okay? And I explained to you already, it's because the evil is more and more evil people. No, I'm not looking at you Republicans, by the way. Okay? They are growing in numbers because they're easily confused. Okay? But the counterbalancing force has to be almost from a smaller group of people whose hearts are made of gold. They're not impressed. They're not discouraged by setbacks. They firm in their beliefs in becoming gooder. Okay, and that's very important. All right? That's last night's message. Oh my God. I should have said it instead of going through all the hassle. I could have done it in 1 minute instead of confusing all of you. Okay? You want to do it again after? You want to watch it again to understand the message? And tonight's message, embrace it all. That's very important. Embrace it. Okay? Embrace the pain, embrace the difficulties, endure it. Okay? When you're better than others, you need to embrace them. You don't judge them, you don't hurt them. Okay? You have to embrace them. And that's why you're getting trained. Your training is so that you become stronger and stronger, so that you can embrace your wife, embrace your children, embrace your colleagues. Okay? Embrace, maybe not your enemies, but shoot your enemies. Okay? Whatever. See, you're all laughing. You all like it too much. That's why it's important for you to embrace it. Okay? Because when you're stronger, this is what they're not taught. When you're stronger, instead of imposing your will on others, you embrace them. You allow them to disagree. You allow them to do stupid things. And you don't impose your will on them. That's called embracing. Okay, that's very, very important. If you do that, you continue to grow and become gooder. If you impose yourself on others, okay? Korean Sunims, Korean people, pay attention. When you're up there, you don't impose your will, you embrace them. Let them abuse you. Let them make life difficult for you. That's called embracing. You don't whine, you don't retaliate. Okay? You embrace them. That's Mahayana, the Mahayana I'm teaching you. Okay? All right. Thank you, everyone. Stop the broadcast. Okay, let's stop the recording.